All right, new recording. We're doing it for real.
Yay! It's working.
Oh, God.
All right, what does this say? Welcome aboard the final update. Yeah, this is the last time we're bullshitting you. At 50% of the grandest ship ever built, she's currently certainly our largest, most detailed Titanic recreation to date. We are proud to release for another fan base to thank you. Whatever, I can't even. Through it all, mission has been to provide community with the Titanic with 2 projects to pursue the mission. Under development is the full experience. In the new project, uncover the captivating history through voiceovers, photographs, and even real-life testimony of people that survived the Titanic to this day. Other features include VR. Bullshit, I'm not doing that tonight. Sunset. Ooh. Okay.
I don't think VR's in this demo. Shady,
Okay.
So you're good.
Yeah, I'm good. I need to talk to Frosting about that too. Okay. So we're going to eventually do 100% of the ship because that's the only thing that makes sense. And historical accuracy and gameplay capabilities.
Yeah, it is historically accurate that there was 100% of the ship there.
Mm-hmm. Until it snapped in
Well, not
half.
after it hit the berg, yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, Shady. I should have
Spoilers.
Let you know that joke. It's your stream.
Yeah, spoilers. No. This ship made it all the way to where was it going? New York.
Why would it split in
New
half?
York.
Boss? There's like completely clear ocean. What are you talking about?
Oh, it's just shoddy workmanship. You know, because it was built by Irish people.
We sailed all the way to the moon. Don't let anyone tell you otherwise.
There was no icebergs. Though,
I
was
told
there?
you about that ridiculous trailer of Titanic.
What's an iceberg? All right. So
It's
111
a type
years.
of lettuce, Shady.
It is. That's right. I have had that.
Brilliant.
No doubt we will improve for the better as we increase our UI and download page one day. Progress updates on both 401 and THG can be found on our Patreon. Give us more money and we'll give you a game one day. Continue. All right.
You know, you want to know another interesting thing about the website, Shady?
Define interesting.
I tried contacting them. Well, you'll find out. So I tried contacting them through their web form regarding certain things. I tried it on 2 separate browsers and I couldn't get either of them to send.
Their customer support is next level.
It's that
Yeah, you just
shady
click it, it doesn't do
MLM
anything.
thing. All right. All right, what are we doing? Where are we going?
Well, these are just starting points, so...
That's why I'm asking you. What do you want for your starting point?
Go... How about first class? We'll start at first class.
Why don't we wait? Don't we start at the bottom and work our way up the social ladder?
Oh, we can do that.
Or I don't know. What do you guys want?
What's the closest to the entrance?
They're all entrances.
Oh, can you not go outside or something?
Well, yeah, you can go outside, but each class entered the ship at different points.
Oh, okay, cool. I didn't know that.
Do we get night
okay.
or sunset or any of that stuff?
I'm not sure.
This looks so much like. I went on the HMS Belfast like a few months ago. It looks so much like that. Oh,
Who dropped out?
I'm here.
Oh,
Mitchie's
I'm sorry, I didn't
dropped
realize.
out. Okay.
Mitchie, no, he's sunk.
He's the
He
first.
drowned.
He's
The
our
first-
first. He's sunk to the bottom of the ocean already.
We don't have Frosting with his harmonica.
What a
to do the
pussy!
last
We
verse.
haven't even hit the iceberg yet.
Hmm.
See you, Mitchie, if you're still in the stream.
See, I haven't played this demo yet, Shady. I've
This-
been saving it for you, so
This actually looks
I'm
really
quite
good.
interested.
Oh yeah, it does. Yeah,
It
yeah.
does.
Have you seen any version of this so far yet, Tom?
No.
Oh,
It actually
okay.
looks. I literally went on a like an old
Is this
ship like
third
a few
class
months ago.
or where?
We're in
It
third
looks
class,
like
yeah.
a lot like this.
Yeah,
I
the
I really
recognize
love the paint.
I
The
recognize that
paint looks
starting
amazing.
location from one video from the developer. He mentioned that that's one of the locations that's also seen in the movie.
I was about to congratulate you, Matthew, for not bringing up the movie. I'm no lie. I really was. I was about to say, Matthew, I'm so glad you didn't bring up the movie, and then you brought up the movie. So
I mentioned earlier you just didn't hear, I think, but
I just think it's hilarious. I was literally about to say, I'm so glad you said something about this game that had nothing to do with the movie, and then you said the movie.
Well, which movie? There's been quite a few, so.
Well,
it's Gen symbol.
The movie. Oh yeah, again, that was. This is why he uses that symbol. Well, no, this is like 100 years later, right? That doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, and sank the Titanic, so.
How did he manage that?
I will tell you that it reminds me of going into. I don't know if we actually have. Is it 5 point stars? I don't know, but I start getting lightheaded when I walk into the Texas Capitol, because if you ever go to the Texas Capitol, my goodness, so there are like 3 floors in the main rotunda area, and the high, or 3 or 4, but the higher floor you go, the shorter the railing is. Like, no joke. It's only like when you're at the top level, the railing is only maybe 2 feet tall. It's, I don't know. It is scary. It makes me, I want to get out of there as quickly as possible.
I
really
did
like
read the
the,
books by Walter Lord, A Night to Remember, and The Night Lives On after I saw the movie. So when I was a kid, so I know a lot from plays about the Titanic from sources other than the movie.
Oh, no doubts. It's just, I just know that you have particular interest in the movie because of like, there's like a nude moment or something.
What, paint me like one of your friends?
Actually, it's not much because of that.
I've never seen the movie.
Matthew is full of surprises.
Have you not seen the movie before?
I have not seen.
It is a good movie. It is a good movie.
Okay.
That's all right. A Night to Remember is the best one, though.
I have seen that.
So.
I have seen that, although
King Theoden in it.
I mean, I was a child, so you know, really, I wasn't old enough to really appreciate it. I would. That's one that I'd be like, yeah, I want to see that one again.
Are you sure? It's a classic. It's one of the greatest films ever made.
What was the other one called? I haven't watched the other one.
A Night to Remember.
I haven't watched that.
Yeah, a classic British film.
Is Night to Remember better than the Titanic with DiCaprio?
Yes, much better.
Is it older or newer?
Older, 1958. But
yes.
Regardless, the special effects in it look fine. Like, there's nothing wrong with them.
Well, my understanding is like A Night to Remember is actually a much more holistic retelling of the Titanic, right? As opposed to Titanic, which is like a romance story embedded within the Titanic, right?
Yeah.
The 1997 film actually has had a lot of negative impacts on me, like because of its, because of it's like it's about that thing, it's kind of cliche, and stereotyped, and its depiction.
It's probably like the weakest part of the film.
Is that a toilet / basin? I'm not too sure.
Oh, this right here?
Yeah.
So you just shit in it and wash your hands in the same, because you don't know what to do with it?
It doesn't look like. I think that is supposed to just be a basin.
I think it's supposed to. Well, I don't know what a basin is, but you mean just
like a sink?
Yeah, a sink. I know what a sink is, but I could imagine someone being confused and using it for both purposes mistakenly.
I wonder how many people
I
did
know
that
one
in the
guy-
actual event.
I
It's
know
like,
one
no,
guy
you're
who would've
supposed to
definitely got
use
mixed
the
up.
facilities over here.
I mean, there's probably people who've mistaken bidets for toilets before.
Yeah, 100%.
Because if you're not familiar with them, you just look at it and think, "What the hell is that?"
It's like, I don't know what
It's
that
like, it's
is,
a
and I gotta
basin.
go, so.
I'd say
It's
the
like a very
lighting,
long, low basin.
the interior lighting's like okay or good. The actually the natural lighting that I think is the best about this engine.
Oh yeah.
The natural like sunlight coming through the windows is way better than this lighting, even though it's still good.
Does this game have sound shady?
I don't know. I mean, it sounds like it should.
Oh, I heard menu sounds.
I saw
I
a
don't know why this.
demo of the syncing mode at one point that had sound, but that was different.
Wait, can I not go down here? Am I blocked?
Oh no, that's a shame.
You got half the ship. It's just we're running into all these areas we're not allowed to go into. Bull twang, I say.
What is
It
that?
looks
What
pretty
did
well
you?
rendered to me.
What were you going to say about Miss 4 and Miss 5 shady?
So, well, that's just a really good example. Those streams of, even though I think I understood it kind of in the moment because it was always, I had always said that I had not played those games on my own, right? So I made my Let's Play of Myst 3 in 2011. It came out in 2001. I made my Let's Play in 2011 after I had played it sometime in, the early 2000s, whatever. But I had known those games, but I hadn't played any more Myst since then, right? So
Well, you played a little bit of Uru, didn't you?
a little bit of Uru, yeah. I don't know.
Such
I'm
a
not
shame
getting.
the sound doesn't work here.
Look at that!
Yeah, I'm not getting any sound effects. Sorry.
I don't know, but it's the animation's still nice.
Yeah, it looks good.
It's like satisfactory.
Yeah. What was I gonna say? Oh, yeah. So I guess there was a little bit of, maybe hype is too strong a word, but I'd always been saying I've never played Myst 4, and I've been delaying it. So I finally did in 2020, which itself was a good year because of COVID, right? 2020 was itself a good year for streaming across the board for everybody because of COVID, right? That needs no explanation. So when I look back at those streams, that was kind of a perfect storm event because I think I picked the right year to finally play those games for the first time. And just, I don't know, it's kind of ties into what I put in my blog entry recently, which is, when I wonder, are my best days ahead of me or are they behind me? Because those were really good days too, right? I can look back, I had these, my scripted Let's Plays of a couple games for, back in 2011. And then I had, these, but maybe my best streams are behind me too because of that. We'll see how Firmament goes, especially since I want to play it in VR. But
I think the problem with...
Go ahead.
Oh, sorry, you go on. I think the problem with Firmament, though, is that a lot of people may not watch the stream because they want to play it themselves and they haven't had time. That's the same with Return to Monkey Island, I think. Whereas Myst 4 and 5, they were obviously quite old by that point, so it was less of an issue.
Well, part of that is, that's something as a streamer. It's just that's something in general you have to kind of think of because, I mean, Myst is kind of unique in that science games can become timeless in a way a lot of games just aren't because they become forgotten. But generally you do have to think, okay, I want to kind of time when I play a game for the first time because you don't want to play it too early for the reason you just said because people want to play it themselves first, but you also don't want to wait too long or else people just kind of forget. It's like, oh, someone's still playing this. Fortunately, with Cyan, things become a bit more timeless to where the timing matters a little less.
Well, there is a reason that people, play new games and upload them to YouTube. It is still a lot of people do just like watching people play it rather than play it themselves.
Mm-hmm. So Firmament will come out May 18th, right? So I'm not going to be streaming it May 19th. Absolutely not. I'm wondering, should I wait 1 month? Should I wait 2 months? I don't actually want to wait that long. I want to play a Cyan game new, like while it's fresh on people's minds, and see how that goes. And I want to try it in VR. But yeah, I don't want to do it the next day because, yeah, I do want to give people a chance to play it. But I do also kind of want to be like, well, if you want to play it before I play it now, right? You got time, but not forever because I feel like there's kind of a magical timing element in that, or at least I wonder if there is. I think this was a part of the ship I explored before, right? This at least seems familiar
Yeah,
to me.
it's that third-class dining room.
Yeah. Or it's
There's also an
Aether.
element of the fact, though, that people can go and watch streams that have happened. Like, if they don't want to go and... If they're still playing it, they don't have to necessarily watch the stream live.
Mm-hmm.
But
I
of
still
course, they
watch
might want to.
those. I still watch those Biz 2020 streams on YouTube occasionally because they were fun streams.
They were fun streams. Well, that's kind of part of it, though. What made it fun?
Yeah.
Was it just me? No. There were a lot of people there, right? I mean...
Yeah, it was a
It was-
party.
It was kind of a perfect storm of events, right? So, as the host, I have to be thinking, how do I recreate the conditions? I would love to recreate the conditions
We have to start another pandemic.
to get...
Yeah.
I mean, if that helps me, I mean, you understand
Very
game
selfless.
you understand
approach.
game theory, right?
Not really.
You know what game theory is. Yeah, so no, but you're right. It's part of those conditions may have been lucky and outside of my control and maybe never come back again.
Society is now dealing with the consequences of that. 2020.
Are
Yeah.
we, or are we just ignoring it? Or are we just being like,
I think most people have got over it now. to be honest.
I think it's slowly coming to the fore. Like it's taking a little bit of time, but people are reflecting and thinking, it's like, well, some things maybe weren't done the way they should have been. But
the real message should be everybody go
that's
back to your
different, yeah.
basements and watch Shady Paradox because he's the best streamer of all time. That's what I wish the government would say. Because I could use the
Of course, you're
backup.
overlooking the fact that none of us have basements.
Yeah, I don't have a basement
Yeah,
either.
I don't have a basement either. No. And in fact, someone lives below me, so I can't exactly go down there either.
Except for Jim. Jim's the only one who has a basement.
Yeah, maybe we just go around
Oh,
to his
we-
house.
Yeah, we go hang around in his basement.
Everybody go to Jim's house and it'll say that I have one viewer on my stream, but really it's actually 30. It's really 30 people from the same computer.
He's got like an IMAX down there, one viewer.
Yeah.
Reflections, brilliant.
Ah, the urinal.
Is that how you pronounce it?
Yeah.
A
The
urinal.
urinal.
Is that how you Brits do it? Say it too?
Urinal.
Urinal, yeah.
You should say
Urinal.
urinal.
Yeah, we say urinal.
Yeah, but we also say urine, so to be fair, it's less consistent.
I'm in principle fine with
You're invisible.
pronunciations.
There's no
I am okay with pronunciations flipping with different Versus I've just literally never heard urinal. I've just never heard that before in my life.
It's a new experience.
Well, people don't generally talk about urinals that much in
It's not a
like
common
conversation.
unless you go to a pub. And even
Yeah.
then.
Or like they'll talk about, you know, a celebrity will talk about how they got recognized at the urinal.
Yeah.
And
Which
and
is
they're
a
just
weird
he's like, oh, yeah.
thing.
Dave Allen said once he got recognized at the urinal. It's like, hang on, you're Dave Allen. And he said, yes. And then he's there. It's like, oh, can I have your autograph? And you're there with like, you know,
He's
your
just
thing in your
writing with
hand.
his piss.
Well, he said, no. He said, it's like, oh, all right, hold this.
Hold my dick while make sure I don't miss while I sign my name.
It's a lovely cabinet there.
And Kenneth
Oh, yeah,
he
this
started
thing?
A Night to Remember said he got recognized at the urinal once because the attendant came up to him, said like, "Oh, Mr. Moore, I tell my wife you use my urinal."
What are these big open spaces?
You know, here's the thing about
think they're for
urinals, urinals.
ventilation.
I don't care about pronunciations. Pronounce whatever you want. I'm gonna call it what I call
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
But
Yeah.
here's the thing about them.
Understand each
So
other.
women are absolutely disgusted and repulsed by them. Of course, they don't ever want to see them. Okay, fine. However, they actually are better urine disposals than regular toilets for standing. Like, I guess what I'm saying is I'm advocating, I think urinal, I'm not going to say that. Urinals should be, they belong in every household.
Yeah, but then you got to install another bit of plumbing. It's just a
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
I guess it's a room thing.
I mean, like if you know, when you build a house, you buy a house, whatever, like you have all the plumbing already installed, like it should just kind of come standard with urinals. But the reason why urinals don't come standard with homes is women can't stand the look of them. But the objective truth of the matter is
they don't use them either. To be fair,
it would be cleaner. Oh no, well I would use them.
Yeah.
I mean, because I'm going to stand to pee either way, but if I stand and pee into a regular toilet, it's going to be, it is actually a bit messier. It's going to, there's a bigger splatter risk with that than it is on a urinal. A urinal is designed for handling the splatter.
Yeah.
But
yeah,
you
regular
still would.
toilets can be iffy about that. Yeah.
But if
So
you so would you have someone like you have the urinal there, and then you'd be like, right, you can use the normal toilet while I use the urinal.
I'm not saying you have to use them at the same time. I'm just saying, like, when I go in there,
If you're married, maybe.
but I'm just saying,
just have two normal toilets.
When
Just have a urinal and go in the garden for number 2.
yeah, you can have both kinds of toilets in the bathroom, and whenever someone goes in
Why
there,
do you
can
get any
use.
toilets then? Just both go into the garden.
Okay, that's a whole other topic. I didn't mean to open a whole other can of worms. I just wanted to say,
You're
if
just
both
minimizing the plumbing here.
options were no, you don't have to minimize the plumbing. I'm minimizing the splatter. Just saying. What my point is that women don't like the appearance of the urinal. They think it's gross. But the objective fact of the matter is that the urinal is actually cleaner to stand and pee into than the regular toilet.
Right.
And so
But there is also a... Sorry, go on.
well, it's just that was basically my whole point. Just that if you had both options, then you would, in the long term, have a cleaner bathroom and fewer splatters and so on, as opposed to one. Go ahead.
But there are two different types. There's two types of urinals. You got the sort of porcelain one that's put up against the wall, and then there's the sort of metal ones that sort of run along the wall. And I think the porcelain ones are a bit cleaner, because I think with the regular ones, you know, you're aiming down towards the ground. I think with those, you tend to men tend to sort of piss downwards at the beginning, and so when you're using one of those on the floor, urinals, you're standing in piss. But with the porcelain ones, I think that's not as much of an issue.
Yeah,
You know about the two types of urinals I'm talking about, don't you?
The metal ones, they're
Um,
just having like football stadiums
Yeah.
and airports.
So well, you say two types. I think there's a pretty standard one, which is the porcelain one, which is the one I see everywhere here in America,
Yeah.
at least. I don't know.
There's like
there's
a worse one.
Most of the time, well, of the porcelain ones, the vast majority of the ones I see, they're, you know, the bowl is high off the ground. Some of them, the bowl is on
That's
the
a good one.
ground. Some of them, the bowl is all the way on the floor.
It's not even a bowl. It's just like this little metal sink that's embedded into the wall. I don't know. Maybe they're not a thing in America. They're a thing in the UK, aren't they, Tom? You know the ones I'm talking about.
I think
Yeah,
I know. what you-
100%.
Well, okay, so it almost looks like a trough.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a trough. Yeah.
So that's a whole other thing. I'm saying there are two different types of porcelain urinals. There are
Oh, I
some
didn't
where
know
the
that.
receptacle is
Wow.
off the ground, and then there's a receptacle that's like on the floor, almost like imagine the regular
I don't
porcelain
know
urinal.
those ones.
Okay, maybe you can look
That's a
them up
shower,
on.
isn't it?
You can think of it as such. That's not what I was thinking. No, but I was
Yeah,
gonna
don't
say
piss in the shower. That's a very bad habit.
they're the ones at Whataburger. Super Gamer's still here. You know Whataburger.
Yeah.
I've been to Whataburger a few times.
Yeah. I don't know. Maybe it's not consistent at Whataburger, but maybe that's not standard practice there. Maybe that's bad. That's a bad correlation to bring up. But my memory suddenly tells me, well, maybe it was at Whataburger. But yeah, just imagine a urinal, but the actual receptacle of your piss is not at, you know, thigh height, but rather at shoe height.
That's an interesting one. It's hard to picture.
Yeah. But that's separate from the trough thing, which, yeah, at sports stadiums, I think I've encountered that a few times, but I don't go to venues where that's more likely to happen. For some reason, I cannot walk in here. I'm trying.
I haven't finished that one. The doors haven't been installed.
Yeah. Need to put the urinals in it.
Paint looks really good, I think.
Pretty cool. Like a virtual tour.
Do you want to try going to first class, Shady?
Let's try going upstairs at least. Can I change the day-night? And I know I could before, but I didn't look like I...
I'm not sure you can in this one. You'd have to check. I haven't
It's
actually
a
played this
greater... It's a more recent update. We're removing features.
Didn't it say
Yeah,
like in the
that's
intro that you could do
one. Pretty
something?
par for the core.
Have we been in
That
here?
might have been the full game, though.
So when I went to the HMS Belfast, I went with my parents, and I went down into like this area with the engine for like ages and ages, and they had no clue where I was. And I went up to the top of the deck, and they were just waiting for me. They were like, "We've been waiting for you for like 2 hours. We had no clue where you were." And I was like, "Oh, sorry."
How old are you?
How long ago was this?
This was like 2 months ago or 3 months ago.
Oh, I was gonna say.
What? Okay. That's weird.
But my phone was out of power, so they couldn't phone me. So they had no clue where I was in this massive ship. And I was like, why don't you just go and do something else for a bit and just get the guy to say that you've gone?
So when I was a kid, by a kid I mean I was like, what, 4 years old?
That's a kid.
That's
We'll
a
give you
kid.
that.
Yeah. So went to see Sesame Street live at the local kind of auditorium place.
Was Big Bird there?
Yeah. So yeah, they're all in, their costumes, and it's this big place. It's like a stadium where you have your,
Mm-hmm.
you could probably fit, I don't know, 10,000 people in it or whatever. I just imagine a stadium that could fit 10,000 people. So, halfway through the show, there's the intermission. Everybody goes to the bathroom, whatever. We get separated. And I know I've told this story before. But yeah, so I got lost, or I got separated from my parents. I don't want to say I got lost, because that's not actually the right way to tell the story. But I got separated. My parents, they were freaking out. They didn't know where I was. They may have even paged me over to the speaker. I don't even remember this point. But they were real worried. They didn't know where I was during the intermission. The second half of the show started. And yeah, they're running over this big auditorium trying to find me. And you know where I was? I was in my seat.
The whole time.
The whole time.
Hey?
So I was paying attention. I knew our exact section, row, and seat number, and just went back to our seat on my own. Because, I could read and write in an early age. It's just kind of sitting there waiting for them and not understanding why they were missing the second half of the show. And I was just
That's not my problem. I'm just enjoying it.
I'm just here. I'm just all by myself watching the second half of Sesame Street. What's your problem? Why are you having such a hard time finding our seat? Why aren't you here?
I thought you were going to say Big Bird helped you find your parents.
Nope. I found my way all on my own. What are these stairs for?
That's the thing you do, though. That's the thing I always thought to do when I was younger. If you get lost, just go back to where you got off.
Yeah, I don't know even if I understood that I was lost. I was just like, well, I don't know where they
just
are.
they were like, what? I was just here.
I better get back to my seat so I don't miss the second half of the show.
People find you were lost.
Yeah, you were the one that was lost.
Shady parody.
What's going on?
Anyway, it's about time for me to get off for the night.
All right,
All
nice
right,
talking.
Super Gamer.
Good night, Super.
Have a
Gamer.
good
Have
night.
a good night.
See you in the next stream.
I'll see you all. Bye.
Laters.
How do I get out of third class? I thought we had social mobility around these parts. No?
You haven't got a good enough ticket, Shady.
Well, you turn around, head down that corridor that you just came down. Oh, good times when we still had the Empire.
There's 2 New Zealands on that map. Brilliant.
Oh, yes. Who's we?
I mean, one is too much, I think, but it is what it is.
What is what? Sorry?
One is too much, but hey, look, Perth's on the map. You can figure. You now know where Perth is, Shady.
I know where Perth is.
Yeah.
It's near Indonesia.
Yeah, it is. So if you head down those stairs, Shady, then head down the corridor, there'll be a doorway to
The next class.
hang on. What happened? All right, head to the other side of the corridor.
Down here?
So, yep. Now keep heading. No, don't go down those stairs. Go back up. You're on F deck now. All right. So there's that long corridor there. Head down that long corridor, and then you'll find a doorway on the side that heads into the first class. It'll be a fancy
This is
door.
very, very authentic.
Tom, do you
in real life?
I think you missed it.
Oh, I thought I was
There's
going
a
to.
door.
I thought I was going all the way down to the end of the hallway. No. Not over here. Not all the way over here. No.
No. It's
No,
in.
no,
It's
no.
around the middle. It's
No.
inward. It's inward, facing inward in the ship. So head back down Scotland Road.
Why are
This is
these
what
things
you're on
not
now.
labeled?
Because this is a crew section. All right. I think it might be that door. It's one of. No. Keep heading down. All right. So there's a door along here somewhere, and that will take you to. Might have been the one you just went
Whoa,
past.
look who showed up.
All right. Hello, Seamus.
Hi.
Bit awkward.
Hey, Sam.
Anyway, back to the stream. We're lost now.
Oh, there it is. I found a stair. No. Is this the right? No, this is where I was before. Fucking hell. Aren't we supposed to find our way upward?
Were they
actually-
able
Yeah.
to, or was it locked? Were they able to?
Head back down Scotland Road.
What is Scotland Road?
That big corridor you just went down before.
Yeah. Okay, this?
Yeah, Scotland Road. Now, on the left side, there'll be a door which heads into the grand staircase. It might not be open. You may have to open it. There's tons of doors there. Just try them all.
Oh, you mean like... Wait, what the fuck? I was expecting just like an open doorway.
I don't really like that message.
What's
Which
up?
message?
Am I still here?
Yeah, you
Yeah,
are.
you're still here. What were you saying, Tom?
I don't super love that message from Samus, to be honest.
Yeah, so... Oh. F to Scotland Road.
All right, so this is outside now.
What's his username on Discord?
It's the same.
They haven't posted anything in this server for like 18 months.
Yeah, he
took some time away, yeah.
Yeah, as you might garner from his message, he kind of messed something up a while back. I think he feels pretty bad about it. I think we for the most part we handled it internally, but he still feels kind of bad about it. We don't have to go into it publicly, but
Right.
but I think that because of that, he's been rather. There's a word. What is the word?
Reticent?
It's close. Contrite. I don't know. He's pretty apologetic. He feels bad about something, but almost like he doesn't quite understand it. So, he messed something up. He should, if he doesn't do it again, he'll be fine. But I think he's kind of, he's really kind of taking it hard on himself, and I think that was kind of why he's been keeping to himself, which I think in general he doesn't have to, but he's not quite sure what terms he's on with everyone, which I think for the most part most people don't even know. So I think he's in better status than he realizes. He thinks that he's like, I mean, he screwed something up, but it's not as like
Yeah.
He didn't cause Armageddon like I think he's afraid of, so it's not as bad as he thinks. So he's all right. What are we doing here?
That's the boat deck, Shady. See, they got tons of lifeboats. It's all fine.
Yeah, but when you fill them to 13% capacity or whatever, you just like one woman or a kid on it. It's like, is that really enough? You really doing this right?
Well, this is second class.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so you were asking about the sound, actually. The clock is making a sound.
I can't hear that. Maybe it shows up on the stream, though. It could be Discord filtering it out.
Could be.
So
But
might
the
just
rest
think, oh,
the rest of the
ticking
game
clock
is not
filtered that
making
out.
any sounds whatsoever.
Yeah, it's quite odd.
But
Second
the
class
fact
smoking room
the fact that the clock is making that sound is kind of telling me that
is weird.
well, it's kind of telling me that it's not like my sound is broken or anything. It's just the game just isn't really making many sounds. That's why I was like, Moss, are you sure you want me playing this now? But guys, we should go on a boat.
Yeah, boats are cool.
Let's go on a
But
boat.
preferably one that won't sink.
Yeah. I didn't say this boat. That sounds like a not so great idea.
Well, it's already sunk, so it's a little difficult.
Well, yeah, but even if they recreated it, which I'm sure they will.
I think Titanic 2's been cancelled now. I think Clive Palmer ran out of money or something.
Damn money. Restricting everything we can do.
Yeah, what we need to have is to have the government pay for everything.
Mm-hmm. Just print infinite dollars. That will clearly solve all of our problems.
Yeah.
It actually, this game is running smoother than the last demo.
I did hear, I think it was maybe late last year, my mother was listening to this radio station which reads out news articles from local newspapers. And there was the statement from, I think it was the Reserve Bank of Australia, where they said, we can create money. I'm just thinking, no, you can't. That's just an absolute fallacy, which...
What do you think of all these bank
governments
failures?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, but if you print money, you just devalue all the money that's out there, because it's all... money is just a share in gold or whatever, so if you print more money, it just means that a share is worth less, essentially.
Oh, man. What year were you born? I mean, are you 90 years old? When was the last time money represented gold?
I don't know. It represents something. I don't know. It's all a mystery to me.
Oh, come on.
It's something like, I don't know how money works, but I know that you can't just print it.
You got the power to know.
Oh, some people can print it. They can print however much they want.
Well, you can print money, but it doesn't actually make
Win
money.
Monopoly easily.
You can't just create money.
The Fed can. It's a highly sophisticated term.
They can't.
It's called quantitative easing.
Depends what the
Yeah,
word
inflation.
create money. It depends what the phrase create money means.
Ooh, I spoke too soon. It is lagging a little bit here.
There's
This
a lot
is
of
a second class reading and writing
there's a lot of
room.
entities in this room, and there's a very complicated carpet.
Got some second class graphics going on here.
Oh, do you think if we go up to first class? That page is very, very stiff. Those chairs look pretty comfortable though.
Yeah, I'd sit in them.
Yeah, yeah. We could film our FMV game here, like Dr. Decker.
Did you like Dr. Decker? I didn't like Dr. Decker.
I thought it was a bit weird.
It gave me 2 jump scares, and I didn't like either one of them.
I just found the characters a little bit weird and annoying.
Yeah.
I should watch that replay. I'll look it up. I
No.
am curious now.
I mean, you can, but I
mean,
wouldn't.
as I said
Is it a
before,
bad
like
game?
it's just a
Is it
bit.
just
It
a
kind of
bad
drags.
game?
It kind of drags. A little
Yeah, it
bit.
really drags.
That
You-
second jump scare in particular was good.
You see, yeah, you saw.
What was it you said? God damn it! Or something like that.
Yeah.
I mean, the FMV like live
Ooh, look at
stream
this.
that actress did was better
Wait.
than Dr. Decker, and that was like made up on the spot.
What flag is this?
That's like the Navy flag,
That's
is it?
the British Navy flag, yeah.
British Navy flag has 3/4 of it is just a solid color.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay.
You just stick some stars on there and you're done.
Yeah, yeah. Create the Australian flag.
Yeah. I knew this. The Australian flag had the stars
And
on
New
it. Can
Zealand's
I-
flag is just
Red.
Zealand's flag is just a copy of
Right.
ours with red stars.
And 2 less, isn't it? Something.
They got the Southern Cross, but they don't have that star that's under the Union Jack. Yeah, how it's really interesting. You look at it. You look at the Australian flag. It must have at least 5 crosses on it.
Got a lot of.
Because you got the English cross, you got the Scottish cross, you got the Irish cross, and you got the Southern Cross. All right, that's 4, but that's a lot of crosses.
At least the Australian flag, like, is the colours are kind of quite consistent. But
Yeah,
there are some flags like Fiji's and stuff like that that just don't work. They're just not very nice.
yeah. I really hope we don't lose the flag. I think it'd be sad if we lost the Union Jack because it is part of our history. I don't know what we'd replace it with.
A kangaroo.
Something awful,
Flag.
awful, no doubt. Yeah.
Like the Welsh
you look at
flag,
Canada's.
but the kangaroo instead of a dragon.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, Canada's flag. You look at Canada's current flag and Canada's old flag. Canada's old flag with the Union Jack look really cool. Now they got this crappy maple leaf.
The 2 angry people yelling at each other.
Is that what the maple leaf is?
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Oh, that's quite interesting.
Yeah.
I didn't realise that. Hang on. So I didn't realise that like the 5 stars on the right of the Australian flag,
Yeah.
that they also appear in the Samoan, exactly the same in the Samoan flag.
Yeah, and pretty similar in the New Zealand flag as well.
Does the New Zealand flag have less though? I can't remember.
Yeah,
it doesn't-
but it's
it
still got
doesn't
the
have-
southern.
It doesn't have that 5th star.
Yeah,
I don't know
that
what that
5th star
fifth
is supposed to represent. It's 8. I think there's 8. It's supposed to represent all the Australian states and territories. So you got
Where
Western
am I
Australia,
on
Northern
the
Territory,
stream? Where am I right now?
Queensland, Victoria, New South Wales,
It's like
South
Tasmania.
Australia,
There's a little
Tasmania,
mini one.
Canberra. Sorry, ACT. You're in 3rd class still.
3rd class?
Yeah. Steerage was all those dirty Irish people.
Well, I just looked over my dashboard. Also, the game's running pretty well, but it doesn't look like the stream is.
It
Little
looks okay.
bits.
Not like how I'm seeing it. Okay, it looks like I'm in that Scotland Yard place again. What the?
Scotland Road.
Scotland Yard.
Scotland Yard, yeah, whatever.
I say, Sherlock, why are we on the Titanic? I say.
Whatever I said. I don't care. Tom, what do you think of the do you miss the British Empire like Moss does?
Oh, well, I didn't live it either, so it's not.
Yeah, I know,
much to miss.
but neither did Moss, but he still misses it.
Oh, not really. To be honest, I don't really care.
There's your problem,
Neutral.
Moss. The natives don't give a shit.
We got only fools
Exactly.
and horses and stuff like that. Like, we don't need that.
So Moss needs to tell Tom he needs to get his act together. Restore the Empire. Not that I really
I
believe
mean,
in it.
in my
but-
lifetime, all that's happened is that we've voted as a nation to become even smaller.
No, I respect independence. I love independence. I think that's good. I think that's a step in the right direction.
And Barbados Barbados left the monarchy, so
Because the EU is a German project. You don't want to be part of that shit.
yeah,
I mean,
exactly.
you should see how England is. I mean, I'm not sure whether that's brilliant for us at the moment.
It doesn't even matter. Like, come on, that's embarrassing
Well,
to be
yeah,
subservient to the Germans.
The problem is that the British politicians current class of British politicians are cut from exactly the same
I don't know
cloth as
what-
the EU politicians, so
I don't
yeah,
know.
you're kind of screwed either way.
I
But
don't
Whatever-
know. I'd say the current situation is pretty bad in England. It's just so. It's not just Brexit though. It's just everything about it so fucked at the moment.
Well, I'll just say
well, it
that
is across Europe as well. Yeah.
I just think, as someone who's never been to Europe and therefore has no right to say anything about anything whatsoever, but my dad's side is German and my mom's side is, I don't know, some mix of Scottish, Irish, and English. I don't know what the mixture is, but
That's a good mix. That's a good mix. That's
Yeah,
proud people.
I
right
don't.
there.
Well, it's better than German, is my point. Like,
Yeah.
just don't be like the Germans.
999.
999. Yeah. So
Yeah,
I
let's
think
make
I
some
think
good
I like to
classical
think it's
music
a
back.
separate. It's a good step in the right direction. It might be a few generations, but I think that long term you're better off separating from the German project than sticking with it. So still got a long way to go if you're ever gonna build the greatness of whatever you had in the past, which I still think that
I think it's all over. To be honest, Shady. Sorry. I'd love to be proven wrong though.
yeah, I don't know.
Like you see those math tricks where people use like let's say they divide like they calculate a fraction through like some sort of like incorrect logical step, even though it gets the right answer. Like they multiply the digits together or something like that, or some bullshit way of getting the answer that doesn't actually make sense, but they get the right answer.
Yeah, I've seen
Like
those.
it still makes you even if it turns out to be okay, a good decision. It's still uncomfortable if the reasons were really bad.
Okay, yeah. Is that how you feel about Brexit?
Well, right now it doesn't feel like it's a positive thing either. But if it turns out to be, a lot of the reasons that people voted for it didn't really have anything to do with anything.
Well, you should have a chat with Lauren about that. She voted leave, didn't she, Shady?
I think she said so publicly, so I think that's okay to say that.
Yeah.
I think she did say that. Otherwise, I would be like, I'm not going to confirm or deny, but I think she did say that publicly.
Yeah.
I think there are quite a lot of good reasons to leave. I just don't think they're as good as the reasons to stay.
Yeah.
I look at the EU Parliament and I'm so glad that Australia's never been a part of the EU project because
I just remember when those guys,
It's-
do you
We're just
remember this?
lucky.
it's
But the
I
continent
sh-
split apart the way they did.
It was. I'm pretty sure this was pre-Brexit because it had to have been, because why else would they care? But those two guys, Sargon and Dankula, didn't they go to an EU parliamentary meeting or something. I don't know how you guys do politics over there. They try to do some.
Count Dankula got introduced as Count Dankula, and he was really embarrassed.
No, but they tried to do some. It specifically some. I don't remember. I don't know how you guys do politics over there, but some free speech thing, and just how the bureaucrats over there just, I don't know, just run roughshod with the whole thing. It's been many years since I saw it, but I don't know how long you've been following those guys, but it just seems highly bureaucratic and out of touch. And
yeah, definitely. But the problem is that there's no guarantee that just leaving will solve any of that.
yeah, I think
For
the argument. I
arguments.
think the argument for leaving wasn't even about any sort of practical solution. I think it really was, for a lot of people, just literally about get away from these people because I don't like them.
Which is fair enough.
Well, I think to some degree, I think that there is some kind of inherent merit. Finally, there's a room I haven't seen yet.
Second class dining room, yeah.
But you can't just tell people that wants to be independent is wrong, because it just isn't. People can be independent if they want, but
Yeah.
you can't just at the same time just completely ignore all the reasons that people think it might not be such a good idea. I mean, also, I didn't really feel like. I mean, I was quite young, but I never felt like the UK or England. Like even in sport, like even now, like England are their own team, Wales are their own. Like it's still very nationalistic anyway. Even was anyway. So I'm not quite sure what we actually gained in
Well, you
that
gain
sense.
not having the EU Parliament.
Yeah, we
reigning
did. But the
over
problem is
you
that a
and
lot of
their
our laws are just
policy.
the same as theirs anyway. So
Yeah, I feel like
Yeah,
there's
that's mainly due
definitely
to
there's definitely a
incompetent
lot
governments, I
of
think.
problems in just inherent to politics of kind of a, out of the frying pan into the
Yeah.
fire kind of thing, where like I do feel
Another
like
thing
in
as well,
theory
that
there should
England's had a
be,
very-
if you do have overall, or at least maybe there's a romanticized side of it that is out of touch, but I would like to think that if something is overall a smaller governing body, that it can be, more in touch than something that's more, than a bigger
but there
one.
also is a slight there's a slight edge to it that I don't like as well, which is that it's very often the case that it's very common for people to want to leave the European Union, but then don't like the idea of Scotland leaving the UK.
Well, if Scotland votes to leave, then that's just how it is. But they haven't voted to leave yet.
Right, but people don't seem to be able to appreciate that the sentiments that they have are very similar.
And fair enough. If
I
Scotland does
yeah,
get another
I know the
referendum and
nuance
vote to
of
leave,
this
then-
the Scottish,
yeah.
that I do know that is that's an even bigger nuance that I would most certainly not be qualified to
I mean, they're fucked
comment
anyway. That's
on.
not going to happen now because
But
that party's fucked itself.
Yeah, I've
The
heard.
SNP.
Yeah.
SNP are a disaster.
They'll win
Wow.
nowhere near as many seats next time.
Yeah.
That's the problem. I don't like it when there's a big majority in the House of Commons either way, and so it's going to be no better next time.
Well, you should take a trip to Western Australia, where the Labor Party, I think, has 54 out of 60 seats.
Yeah, it's just not good, because basically it just means that bad policies get through more often. That's just all that happens.
Yeah. Yeah, Mark McGowan.
There is
the old
there is
tosser.
no
But he is what he
scenario
is.
where good policies get through, but there are scenarios where bad policies get through faster. That's basically politics in a
Yeah.
nutshell.
I mean, Shady, would you say how would I put this? Would you say you're pretty skeptical of federalism just as a concept?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. Just because when you're really trying to smush large amounts of people together, it's just impossible to keep any
Definitely.
sizable number of them happy. Whereas if you got smaller governments reigning over smaller groups of people, it's probably easier to keep people happy because you're kind of closer to the.
There's a
people
romantic
themselves.
element to that. I try not to be any.
Yeah.
I would love to just be like, well, throw the outer layer of bureaucracy off, and we'll be able to do what we want, and therefore we'll get,
Yeah.
we'll do things Right. No, that probably not. I mean, honestly,
I think that's why
honestly,
state governments are important.
yeah, but I mean, honestly, Brexit has
Yeah.
kind of been a case study in that. It's like, well,
It was just a mess.
it's still a mess.
It wasn't actually. I mean, it wasn't. The actual process was a mess, but the actual level of discussion was really bad. I didn't really learn very much. I was like 17, 18 when it happened. I found it really difficult to even understand what the hell was going on, just because the quality of discourse was so poor.
Yeah.
The quality of discourse was so poor. Well, never expect that to improve.
I know. That's what I mean. At least I found out pretty quickly. Never mind. I guess we'll live with it.
Yeah. No, but I guess what I'm saying is that, like, I think for me, I guess kind of my intuitive political persuasion, I do tend to be pretty skeptical and cynical of government bodies in general.
Unlike the
And so-
grinders.
And so I do like the idea of smaller government, local government, and so on. So I don't like larger super conglomerates. So the idea of independence is always alluring and things. But it's not so much like, oh, everything's going to be great and perfect. It's just going to be like, it's more about limiting the bad than promoting the good. So you still kind of expect things to not be, things are never going to be wonderful. But, you kind of want you and your people to be, have your little corner of the globe, to have your, your nationalistic pride, and just, take some kind of, I don't know, small pride in what you've got, and, never expect anything to be, things don't have to be much better than that. Just, I feel like
it's nice just being able to sort out your own problems.
Yeah,
well.
even if you don't sort them out properly, at least you had the chance to sort them out on your own, as opposed to having to wade through everyone else's BS at the same time.
I mean, that's the problem with tax. For me, is the fact is it's like, okay, you're being told by the government how your money is going to be spent, rather than you having a say over how it would be spent. I'm not saying you'd spend it on yourself, but it is a bit annoying when you have tax money taken away and it's spent on things which just aren't good. Like they might fund it on some war that's pointless, or, in my opinion, abortion clinics. I prefer not to have my money spent on that. But that's the case with everybody. There's, the pain is having, the government saying, yeah, we want to spend X amount of your income on this. I think
there's
I got derailed there. Sorry, Shady.
There's going to be always going to be an element of that, and so the whole limiting the bad thing is just, I'd rather have less of that in general. Even though there's always going to be some of that, and
I mean, there are also awkward things like, Wales has been completely screwed over for the last ages. I mean, let's say not just 800 years, but specifically over the last 50 years.
I'm bored with it. I don't know if I saw this second class stuff properly, but I guess I'll just go to the first class stuff now.
But overall, they're going to lose an unbelievable amount of funding from not getting EU money anymore, because England don't care about Wales.
It's really easy. I mean, for someone way over here that's completely disconnected from your politics, I will admit, even from way over here, you're all just the UK. But then it's like, who's really there? Well, the English are the ones really wearing the big boy pants. And then there's Scotland. And then there's, there as a completely separate country, then there's Ireland. And that's it, right? Oh, yeah. Then there's that silly retard kid, the Welsh, apparently. Which is
actually, a beautiful place.
I don't always remember that they're there.
Yeah, well, basically because they got conquered in 1300.
Yeah, no. I mean this seriously. When I think of the UK, it's easy to confuse the UK versus the English. It's like, no, that's not actually the same thing. But like, if I
Well, a
don't
lot of
think of it,
people-
yeah, it's easy to think of those two as like the same. It's like, oh, and actually break them out. They're different. Okay. But the Irish are not even the UK. They're the Republic of Ireland. They're completely separate.
Northern Ireland's still part of the UK.
Yes.
But
There
Ireland
is-
as an island, like as a rugby team, are just the whole of Ireland.
But I
So
guess
you have
what,
Republic and Northern together.
Okay.
interesting. But what I'm saying is like, you can think of all this stuff through about the UK versus Great Britain, which is that larger island, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
am I
Great
correct in that? That Great Britain is the larger island. That's what that is, right?
Yeah, British Isles
Yeah.
are everything.
Yeah, the British Isles are everything. The UK is all of
Northern
that
Ireland
except for the
is
Republic
Great
of
Britain.
Ireland. Yeah, so you think of there's this. You do all that stuff out, and it's like it's so easy at the end of the day to be like, oh, I forgot the Welsh. That's what I'm trying to say. Like it's
Well, it's a
easy
small
for me.
country.
Yeah.
It's easy for me to forget that they're there.
And that's where
What's
sometimes
really
just bring
interesting-
Gogokis.
Yeah. But one interesting thing I find is that when people talk about the British, they're often talking about the English.
Yeah.
When they specifically talk about the Scottish or the Irish or the Welsh, they'll
Yeah, they mention
specifically mention them.
That was the
But
there was like
it's-
there was like a sort of meme about when Andy Murray was really good at tennis. Whenever he won, like the BBC would write British tennis player. Whenever he lost, they'd write Scottish.
Yeah, I've trained myself to be better about that. But it's just
I
funny
don't think it's
that
actually true, but it's just funny.
that-
People thought
A lot of countries that don't actually speak English just refer to the whole of Britain as England.
Hmm.
Most European countries actually just refer to the UK as England when referring to the whole British Isles. Like, I think Spanish speakers just refer to Britain as Inglaterra, which just means England.
Inglaterra?
Yeah, like English Land of Angels, I think is Inglaterra.
Huh.
the Angles.
I didn't
I
know.
think the Angles are like I don't know what that comes from. I can't remember now.
It would be the original tribe that went out to Britain.
Yeah, I think it was just the original Celts. Which is kind of weird because
Yeah.
actually nowadays when people talk about Celtic, they normally mean everything but England.
Yeah.
Yeah, but like the original tribe that founded France were the Franks, and the Germans still refer to France as Frankreich, which means French
Yeah.
Empire.
Oh, we're gonna send a telegram. Is that guy gonna let me into the bridge? Nah. He'll kick me out.
not allowed on the bridge.
The guy with the stupid beard.
Oh, that was Officer Maury, yeah. But who said life was fair? Yeah.
I
That's
do
right,
like how I like how when you guys decided to host a stream without me, which we should arrange stuff like that. I
Yeah.
I have been streaming less, and I've been working hard on my video, and I think it'll be really good. Which I think
I'd love to do another stream with Frosting, particularly.
Yeah.
Doing it with him was fun.
But it was funny to me that it's like, oh, of course. I step away for one moment, you go right back to Titanic.
You ready to go back to Titanic?
Yeah.
You still here, Matthew?
Doesn't sound like it.
All right.
It is getting close to 7 a.m. I might have to leave you now. I might have to call it a morning.
Yeah, I get
So-
some sleep.
I might.
It was lovely to walk around the Titanic and just chill out.
Yeah, I'll probably wrap it up soon.
Quite a nice
'cause
little map,
I
this,
think-
isn't it?
Yeah, I haven't seen the whole thing,
It's
but
quite a big map.
yeah. But I'll probably wrap it up reasonably soon, but I'll stay here a few minutes.
I'll stick around for maybe another half an hour.
but- Okay.
Shady.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Then I better head off because my
All right.
dog's coming back and everything. My pup.
Cheers, Mosh. Cheers, Shady.
better.
And Matthew, if you're still
Yeah,
there.
good hanging out, Tom.
Bye, Tom.
I'll see you next
Until
time.
next time,
Yep.
have a good night.
Good night.
Mm.
Au revoir.
Yeah, it's interesting. It's weird not having the grinders around either. It's like, oh, they went and got jobs and lives and they're paying tax. Good for them. But
Mhm.
it's changed the dynamic a bit.
Yeah. Yeah, you chased off all the left-leaning people. It's all your fault.
Yeah, I'm such a bastard.
Ah, telegraph room. Here we go. Mayday, mayday. We need to set that we need to send that message out before we hit the iceberg.
That'd be funny if someone just wrote back to them and said, like, it's going to take us 4 hours to get to your site. You really should have sent us the SOS before you hit the iceberg.
It was funny. I was just watching Freeman's Mind again, and there was a point in there where he was talking about the Japanese sent their warning. Like, it was something about it's honorable to send a warning of, we're going to attack you before we actually attack you. But what was it? So they were going to send
Pearl Harbor?
Yeah, Pearl Harbor. So the Japanese were going to send the message, hey, we're about to attack Pearl Harbor. But they actually sent that message after they hit, like 20 minutes after or something. I don't know if anything he said was true, but it was just part of the commentary.
I did watch episode 18 of Freeman's Mind 2 last,
Yeah.
not the Friday gone, but the one before that.
I've decided I'm going to wait on Freeman's Mind 2 until after I played Half-Life 2. Because I watched Freeman's Mind, then I played Half-Life. Or I played Black Mesa. I haven't played the original Half-Life, but, close enough, I guess. I want to see what it's like to play the game before seeing Freeman's Mind.
I'm in it for... I understand. I'm there for Ross Scott and not for Half-Life, to be honest.
No, that's why I watched Freeman's Mind, but I want to see what it's like to have the experience the other way for once, just because I know that a lot of the audience of Freeman's Mind originally appreciated Freeman's Mind in the context of themselves having already played Half-Life, whereas my experience was with Freeman's Mind was I love Freeman's Mind because of Ross Scott, then I played Black Mesa. That's my point. But I do kind of want to see what that's like to have the experience of playing the game first.
I still prefer Game Dungeon, though.
Yeah. I think the video I'm working on is pretty good. I don't know why you,
I'm sorry, Shady. I will watch it today. I've just been, my life's been... it's been weird just having the puppy and working. It sort of just changed the whole dynamic in the house that a lot of things I just haven't done.
Yeah.
So
it is.
Like, especially I'm like every hour I'm like, okay, I need to let you out to pee, otherwise you'll pee on the floor. I prefer it if you didn't pee on the floor.
Yeah. I mean,
so I know you sent me that video that morning that I got her, so yeah.
It's I know it's kind of hard for you to get it because you joined later, but I mean, that more polished content is actually where my real passion is, whereas these streams are just kind of silly for me. Either way, this was actually something when I was going to talk about the missed streams and stuff, which I guess other people have left already, but I guess I could express this at least to you if no one else is here, or maybe Matthew if he's still here. Oh, everything crashed.
Oh, Matthew's still here. Anyway, go on, Shady.
Yeah,
you're still here, Shady.
I'm in Discord, but am I on Twitch?
Yeah, it looks like you are.
Really? Yeah, the video memory crashed. Hold on.
All right, but I can still see you live here, so.
Okay. Wow. Okay. We'll try again.
It's still live.
Yeah, the whole game just crashed right now. What was I saying?
Same Unreal Engine logo as Mist VR.
I think I was here. Yeah, you got here late enough to where maybe you don't really understand, but yeah, that stuff is really where my passion is.
Yeah.
And I want to do more with that. And kind of the most recent update is I think that video I'm working on, I think I do want to split it up into 3 parts, which I think is something that you said as a possibility before, but I didn't know quite how to do it, but I think I do now, which means, you know, maybe I can get a video out reasonably soon. I'm not sure exactly what the schedule will be, but...
But what were you going to say about the missed streams from 2020?
Oh, just not about that in particular. Just, you know, one thing I put in my blog entry was, you know, I don't like the thought that both in my scripted content and streaming content that my best days are behind me. And so I would like to be thinking more proactively on how to actually bring the good times back as opposed to just, you know, do the same thing over and over again and hope for a better result, because I feel like that's going to be long-term kind of diminishing results.
Yeah.
Because it's not bringing in new people in general. You're kind of a rare example in that point. However you found me. In general, people don't find me anymore. Not a lot of people. I'm hoping this new scripted stuff will... my goal is to bring attention again. We'll see. Trying to make the no, I think I've already been here. What am I doing?
I don't know why there was a loading screen to go through a gate. But
here's the bridge. I've already been here.
So much of this just looks, in Night to Remember, just looks identical.
I wonder if it's going to crash again. Let's go in here.
Seamus, you shouldn't say things like that on stream. It's I know how can I say it, Shay? It's not good for you to say that because you're selling yourself short, and it
No, it ran out of
changes the
memory again.
dynamic a bit.
Damn it.
All right, you and your 8 GB card.
I think it's me. No other games do this.
I know it's probably just poor coding, to be honest.
There we go. It's not my fault. It's just bored first class straight away. Well, I mean, yeah, tried to handle the problem internally, which I think we mostly did. But I mean, if he's gonna say that, then okay. I mean, I think the main problem is that even though Samus understands he did something wrong, he doesn't quite understand exactly the nature of the problem, and so I feel like his imagination almost goes wild, thinking it's way worse even than it actually is. Like, come on, like you didn't kill anybody. Jeez, dude. Like it's not like the worst thing in the world. You know, just what you were doing, you needed to stop it when you were doing it, and you did. So, at this point, just let the bygones be bygones, and we can all move on, and it's okay. At least I think so. I think we can all. I'm ready to move on. I think you're ready to move on.
Yeah.
Like at this point, if you just pretend it didn't happen, don't do it again, then I think things will turn out all right. So these are interesting rooms.
Oh, well, yeah, these are fancy cabins.
Uh-huh.
Is this B-59? Were you on B deck?
I have no idea where I am.
I think that previous room you did go into in Titanic Adventure at the time. But yeah, would you love to stay in a room like this, Shady?
I'm in B63. Okay. Looks like maybe.
Amazing how thin the corridors are, though.
Yeah. No fat people.
Well, it was 1912. There probably weren't too many fat people. And all the fat people would have been in first class anyway.
They would have sunk the boat.
It's not like what Joe.
Even sooner.
Yeah, it's not like what Joe Rogan said. That didn't really apply at the time.
I don't know what he said.
About how it's just extraordinary that you have poor people who are fat in the West.
Yeah.
Because that's just something that hasn't existed anywhere before in history.
Poor people are fat today. Think about that shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do remember that quote.
Yeah.
We can't go in the loo.
Hasn't been modeled or rendered yet.
So is the final game gonna have every single one of these rooms? Is that what it is? Even if it's just
Yeah, I
all
think so.
repetition?
Yeah, I think they said they may not model the inside of vents, which I thought was a bit of a cop out. But anyway,
The inside what?
a vent.
Of vents, not events.
Yeah,
I didn't understand what you meant by
Yeah.
events. Are there events? So now we're rich. Wouldn't that be fun to be rich?
yeah. It become really, really fat.
That's the whole point. Then you can't fit in the first class hallways.
Did you ever hear about that guy who apparently he was so fat? It's
Uh-oh.
not funny, but there was this
It's
guy who
probably
was
pretty
so
funny.
fat and he had I think he needed surgery, but they couldn't fit him outside of his house. Like he was stuck, like they couldn't fit him through his bedroom door or something. So I think they had to take the roof off his house. They stick a crane in to take him out by crane.
Man,
order
I
to
know of several cases
transport
like
him
this.
out for his surgery.
Man, I watched some of those 600-pound life
Yeah.
episodes. There was one guy, yeah, where in this my 600-pound life, he was in one of these kind of trailer park homes, and yeah, or not trailer park, but like those what are those called? There's a name for those. Those kind of smaller. There are those homes that don't have a foundation. They're just like on top of the ground.
They're not motorhomes. Like we probably call them demountables here.
Yeah, I think they have a
I
specific
don't know
name
what you call them
here.
anyway.
Yeah. Yeah, they're not mobile
I know
homes.
what you mean though.
Yeah. But
you
basically,
sort of, like, set them up on
but
the
yeah,
ground,
they basically
and then you can-
removed the entire side of the house so they could get the guy out.
Yeah.
And you know, you get like 8 firemen in there to make sure that they can load them onto the emergency vehicle and all that.
Yeah, it wouldn't be good being fat. Well, obese. These people, I mean, we're all a bit fat, but
I'm fat.
obese. Yeah, I'm fat too, but we're not obese.
Yeah,
That's
but I'm
something else.
I'm gonna quit being fat. I've decided that, even though I drank tonight.
I'm gonna quit being fat too. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll race you.
Yeah.
Actually, that was a fun story. You don't know anything about Fat Bet at work.
No, but you can tell me.
That was 2015. Yeah, in the math department, some of us we had a weight bet, and there's this one guy in the department that's just, he was kind of fat, but because he loved to eat, but whenever he put his mind to it, he could lose weight really, really fast. And it kind of caught us by surprise. We did this kind of weight bet thing where we put a bunch of money on who could hit our target weight the fastest, and it's a pretty big bet. I mean, it's like there were 5 of us, and we each put $250 on the line. So the winner would,
Ouch.
yeah. So the winner would get paid $1,000 from the other 4, right? But yeah, first week out of the gate, this one guy that was, it was his idea, really trying to bait us into it. He lost like 7 pounds in 1 week or something. It was like, oh shit, we're all gonna lose. But the thing is, we had our individual goal weights based on our prior starting weights, because we were different, right? Everybody, based on their different height and starting weight. It's not like you don't race like the same number of pounds for everyone, right? Because everyone's gonna be different, so it's some kind of proportionate thing. But what this guy would do is he would just like really starve himself and lose 7 pounds in a week, and then the next week he would only lose like 1, and then he'd lose 7 again, and then 1 again, or whatever. So anyway, he was doing this. I had a smaller goal because I wasn't as fat, so I only needed to lose like, what was my goal? 20-something pounds, whereas he needed to lose like 40, but he was losing it like just crazy fast. Oh, the game's gonna crash again. Yep, I'm pretty sure the game's crashed again. Dang it.
Yeah.
But he got so arrogant about it, like he didn't pay attention to what the rest of us are doing. Meanwhile, I was like kicking my own ass, really trying to figure out how to go quickly. Anyway, there was just he went on vacation because he was pretty close to his goal, and he was going to go on vacation 1 week and then come back and win the next week or whatever. And I still had a little ways to go, but because my goal was overall shorter, I did some kind of strategy where I fasted and cut in some funny way. Anyway, I managed to barely beat him. So, because he kind of like slacked off at the end. It was actually a pretty funny thing. But I ended up winning the weight bet, so.
It's a great story, Shady.
Yeah. Your device is running low on memory. Wow.
Video memory.
I have never seen my task manager looking like this before.
Oh, can you show us? I want to see this.
Maybe?
I think it's because the textures are probably so high resolution.
No,
That's probably the
there it
issue.
is. Okay, no, never mind. My task manager looks normal again. It looked very bare bones, but it's now restored.
Let's see if that note that first class requires approximately 7 gigabytes of RAM and virtual memory. Virtual memory is shared with system memory, so it's possible to run first class with GPU that only has 4 gigabytes of video RAM, so long as you have 12 gigabytes of RAM. How much video memory do you have, Shady? You'd have 8, wouldn't you?
I don't know.
Well, you have a 1080 Ti, so I imagine it would be pretty decent.
Oh wow,
That was top of the
the
line.
chess championship is in 3 hours. Huh. Do you know anything about the chess championship?
Not at all.
The World Chess Championship? Well, Magnus Carlsen is far and away the greatest chess player of our generation, and therefore of all time. He's incredible, but he's held it for a decade. This year he said he didn't feel like competing for it, so the next two players are playing for it now. And so there's a little bit of a dampening, like, asterisk feeling on us. Like, well, we all know the greatest player is Magnus Carlsen, so... And he's not even trying this year. We've got these other two guys going at it. But the match between these two has been really good. It's been taking place basically all of April. So
That's good.
a single game takes place over the course of a day out of video memory. I'll have to reboot my computer if I want to play this game anymore. So I'll probably be ending the stream here in a few minutes. But
All right. It says the 1080 Ti has 11 gigabytes of video RAM, so you should have more than enough.
yeah,
Probably just crappy programming on
I don't know.
programmer's part.
Yeah, that's part of what I was concerned about playing this. So anyway, So they play 14 games, and, you know, so 7 games, one player has white, 7 games, the other player has white, so it has to be an even number of games. Win, lose, draw. Anyway, yesterday they just played game 14, and it was a draw, and they have split the 7 games, or the 14 games evenly. They won the same number of games. Everything was drawn. Everything is tied up, and so in 3 hours, they're going to start the tiebreaker day, which is a shorter time frame. So instead of playing one game of classical time, which takes, many hours all day where they can really think about all their moves, they're going to be playing 4 rapid games, and then if that's still tied, a bunch of blitz games, and if that's still time, they're going to play even shorter time. I don't know. It's going to be a crazy day. But the whole point is, in 3 hours, they're going to start like the ultimate final last day of the entire tournament, and so that's going to be fun.
So how does that work? Does it mean they have to make moves in a certain amount of time?
Well, do you know how chess clocks work in general?
No, I just know regular chess.
You just have a certain number of time to make all your moves. So when it's your move, your clock goes down until you move, and then you hit the clock, and then the other player goes. And
if you don't move, what happens then? You get disqualified?
Well, if you run out of time, you lose the game. So you have a certain number of time to make all your moves, right? So if you have an hour to make your moves, right, it's your move, and you got 59, 59, 59, 58, 59, 57, 59, 56. You hit the clock. And then it's your opponent's turn. Their clock starts ticking. Then it comes back to you. You have a certain amount of bank's time left to make the rest of your moves. And it just keeps ticking down. If at any point your clock runs out, you lose the game. There are other complications because there's something called increment, where every move you might get additional time. Or you can also have what's called time control, which is if you've made enough moves, then a total amount of time will be added to your bank. There are other things like that. But in general, if your clock hits 0, you lose the game. So that just keeps you.
But the regular chess matches, they don't have the time, the ones that go all day?
They do. It's just a lot of time. So it's like 2 hours each side to make their first 40 moves. So it could take as long as 4 hours to get to the first time control.
Sorry, JD, go on.
And then from move 41 to 60, you get like another hour added. And then at move 61, you get another 15 minutes, and then plus 30-second increment. So, I mean, a game could last 5, 6, 7 hours. That's why you only play one game in a day in classical time control.
Yeah.
But now they're going to be playing shorter time control because they need to get a bunch of games in so they can make sure they break the tie today, which now starts in about 2.5, 3 hours.
So when they show, is it just the game? How's it all presented? Is it sort of presented in this glitzy, sportsy style? Where there's sort of like there's a bit of showmanship in it.
I wouldn't say
like
I don't
say
know.
Like would they present it with the same level of polish that they would a StarCraft tournament? Or League of Legends, because they sort of treat the people in that like they're sports players, even though
I guess there's a little bit. I mean, it's
all right, that's cool. Did they show any shots of Kazakhstan? Have they shown any shots of exteriors of Kazakhstan during this thing, like saying, "Oh,
maybe
we're
a couple
in lovely
times.
Kazakhstan. Look at this. Look at these lovely goats or whatever they have in Kazakhstan. Look at these lovely yaks." Anything like that?
I don't remember, honestly, so
right.
Not much.
He was just there.
Maybe a little bit.
He was just there for the chess game, not for the lovely scenery. All
no.
Right. It's not like the Tour de France.
Yeah, with Lance Armstrong, the greatest cyclist of all time.
Oh yeah. I do remember this other YouTuber he watched. He was at this course with just people who are on welfare at this technical college, and this he got shown this video. It was one of those it's one of those inspirational people, you know, the ones who just like to tell people that they're great on video. And he was talking about examples of someone who turned their life around, and he gave the example of Lance Armstrong. And I think this was shot before the whole drug thing came out, but the technical college just decided to keep using the video, even though it stopped being a good example.
That would stop being a good example eventually.
Yeah.
All right.
It's funny. Why have you've only got one little message at the top of the screen, and it's Tom.
Yeah, because the previous one was too long to fit.
Yeah, thank you, Seamus. So I suppose we're done. It's 8.5 hours, which is a pretty good run.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna shut it down.
Oh, there's another message.
There we
Hello,
go.
Shady Paradox. Welcome to the stream.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So I think it was another success.
Have you finished Return to Monkey Island yet?
I did get to the end of the game.
Okay. Are you replaying it, or are you doing something different next Sunday? If you stream.
Probably just something else. I'm not sure what I'm doing next.
All right. Hopefully I can make it.
I had an idea of what I wanted to do. Now I forgot it. Yeah. Oh well. Yeah. But for now, I think I'm gonna just crash on the couch for 2 hours because I want to watch this tie break. Ugh. This chess thing has been messing up my sleep schedule. I'm glad I got through this stream, but I really, fortunately, this will be the last one, the last chess day.
What was that game that you wanted to play? It was like The City or something. There was another game you wanted to play.
Oh, the Forgotten City?
Yeah.
That is something I want to play. It is one of those games apparently it's one of those games where there's no replay value because there are critical plot elements that are only useful. You have to experience them the first time before you know the answer to the whatever mystery you're trying to solve. Right? Once you know the answer to the mystery, you replay the game. It doesn't have the same magic to it, right?
Okay.
So fortunately, I'm not spoiled on that.
I don't know anything about it, so.
Yeah. But who knows? I mean, maybe you'll find it interesting if you just want to watch me play it, because, I mean, it sounds...
Yeah.
Sounds like it might be a good game.
I'll try.
I know you're really old school to the point where you think, oh, that was made by a company made after 2010. That's not a good game. But
that's exactly how I think, Shady.
It might be a bit of a straw man, but sometimes...
You got it on... No, it's not a straw man. You've sussed out my entire personality. That's my entire personality in a nutshell. Well done. You have such a great insider character that I think Jordan Peterson could really learn something from you.
Mm-hmm. I'm glad you tell it to me straight like that without a hint of sarcasm whatsoever.
You're welcome, and I love you, Shady.
And I'm glad that you will prove me absolutely correct when I play the Forgotten City. No, I don't know. Maybe it's a shit game, but I don't know. I've heard good things, so we'll see. But
we'll see.
Yeah. I don't know if I'll play that next week, but that is an idea.
We'll see what happens anyway. But
I know Lauren wanted to see it, but she hasn't been around lately, so I don't know.
She was around on the last Hangout stream.
I think so.
Then she, then she disappeared because Frosting wanted to use her voice. I remember. I watched the entire replay of that, all 8 hours or so.
Frosting needs a good talking to about how not to,
talk to women.
Well, there's that. Just kind of more generally, how to get what you want. Yeah, but it's kind of along similar lines. But all right, I can't load the game again, so I
That's
think
the
I'm
end
just
of the stream.
yeah, I'm just gonna call it.
No,
This is the
no.
end of
That's
the
enough,
stream.
Shady.
That's enough. Yep.
That was
I
a good
just looked
April
up the
stream.
Forgotten.
Today.
I just looked up the Forgotten City. Yes, definitely don't read anything about it before playing.
Yep. Yep.
That's
And
the most useful thing Matthew's ever said.
don't say anything about it either.
Yep.
All right. Don't say how it
111
impacted
years
you
since
either.
the
Say
Titanic
nothing
sank,
about
so-
it.
I'm not going to look it up either, so
Yeah.
yeah. But yeah, good night, Matthew. Make sure that you keep being careful with what you say on the internet, because you're doing such a great job so far. And he's gone.
All right. Good night, you two, and everyone else. And
All right, good night.
yep. See you guys next stream.
Bye.